Hello and welcome again to another episode of this Abreca podcast. Some of you would know us as the Benidorm Gastro Business Podcast. Isn't that right, Diego? It's part of what we've done in the last couple of months, and it's once again a pleasure to be with you all in this little get together that we do often to talk about hospitality, Horeca here in Benidorm and everything. Always with support from Parallel Studios and Ale Ronzani, who is always in the background doing essential things and essential hand signals, some of which I will someday understand. My name is Humberto, AGA Normie, and it is my particular honor and my particular pleasure this afternoon to be here with Diego Salinas, manager of Abreca. Diego, it's great to have you.
Likewise,
it's a personal honor of mine to be able to be with you here, spend some time talking about several things that we're going to touch upon in this episode. Also, particularly, it is a very good opportunity to do something which I've always wanted to do, but humble people like yourself very seldom have the chance to do, and is talk about a bit about yourself, because it's something that you don't do often, and I think you should do more often.
Man, it's a bit of introduction and context.
Right. But it's a bit. The problem with context and you, Diego, is that the people doing production for the podcast, we're gonna send you some notes about Diego, and the problem is with the notes, they should bring them in lengthwise, because the screen, it's actually not big enough, if I may, honestly, objectively, to speak about somebody like yourself, who you, if I'm not mistaken, you have been a restaurateur, you have been in the restaurant business yourself, managing your own restaurant and a health food delivery startup. So you've been also focusing on the Horeca sector and restaurants as a startup, which is very interesting. You will have to tell us about that. You have managed maintenance for little outfits like Burger King and Telepizza and Pizza Hut, which is
local restaurants.
It's local little humble franchises and everything, and I find it particularly interesting also, and we will speak about your credentials about this further, but you have also done innovation studies for Macro, for Consentino, for L'Oreal, for IKEA. And this is
also small companies,
yes,
small and medium companies.
It's like SMBs, little tiny companies. But now a bit more seriously, you have a master's in science and electrical engineer, an executive MBA by the Instituto de Empresa. You're a professional project manager by the PMI, by the Complutense University in Madrid, and the Stanford Design School, home of design thinking.
Yeah, they made a mistake with myself.
Oh, right? Really?
Yeah, I paid a fee before they realized they have making a mistake. So
well, I'm sure they are celebrating that mistake with you, following up with you to all these years.
It was fun.
They will celebrate. You have worked doing. You will have to tell us someday about that. Doing data centers for the Qatar Foundation in the middle of the desert. You have been a product owner for startups in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I came from the desert to the Silicon Valley, which is another savage territory, but it was fun also.
It's interesting. You will have to tell us about that and how you ended up in Benidorm, which is quite a story. But you've also managed actually physically life and death critical services for the Hospital de San Juan, the San John Hospital.
With maintenance.
It's
a lot of pressure there.
A lot of pressure. It teaches you a lot about working under pressure, and you will have to someday tell us and tell me and tell everybody that follows us that story about how they called you one day and you asked, "Is something on fire?" And it was actually literally on fire because the Alicante
airport
was burning.
Yeah, I pick up the phone and say, "Yes, you have just interrupted me during a meeting. Is something burning?" And say, "Yes."
The airport.
Okay. And coming back from Madrid to Alicante to try to save whatever it was left.
It's outrageous. We'll have to devote an episode of the podcast just for that. But also, interestingly enough, to focus more a bit on what we have on the menu for today. We also wanted to touch base a bit because, notwithstanding the fact that it's very well known, Abreca, the Asociación de Restaurantes, Bares y Ocio Nocturno de Benidorm, it's very well known, but it is interesting also to touch a bit on little details that may be lesser known. It was founded in 1986, if I'm not mistaken, yes. Right? And I think at its peak it might have had, if my information is correct, 420 associates, members.
Yeah, that was the maximum.
That's a peak. And I hear, Diego, but you will have to correct me if I'm wrong, that it is actually one of the NGOs, associations, third sector entities locally that has managed to grow grow actually from 120 to 180 members during the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, before the pandemic, it was 140.
Uh-huh.
It was low. It was the minimum of associates that we have already had. But during the pandemic, and because of all this reivindication, being on TV, on radio, I mean, we have growing associates, 40 associates more. But I think we have to increase this tendency.
Right.
And because of my background in innovation, I think I have matched with the actual director teams of the association.
The board, right? It's
a
great board.
And with the president also.
Right.
And that's why I'm here. I mean, we need a change. I have to say thank you for the previous manager, Maria Moore, and also for the administration department, Maite, that has been working here for 17 years.
Right.
I mean, they have worked a lot, so I have to continue that work.
Right.
And we have to manage in a different way because the sector has moved.
Right.
So I think we have to grow. We need to put objectives because whatever you cannot measure, you cannot increase.
It doesn't exist.
So we have made an objective for 2023. We have to be 500, and I think it's a good number. Because actually historically we have been a maximum of 420.
420. We mentioned that.
I think in the whole 5 cities that is around Benidorm, like Finestrat, Alfa del Pi, La Nucía, Villajoyosa, and Benidorm itself, we are 3,300 potential locals to be associated.
Yeah,
so
places.
One of a third,
right?
Maybe 1,100. Right. It should be our saturation point.
Right.
Our maximum that we could achieve. We are 15% of that. 180. Right. So we have fixed an objective of being 500 at the end of 2023. Right. And I think it's possible, and we are working to do that.
Right. But you know what? Even I have the benefit of knowing a bit more about you professionally and personally, so I find it very believable. You know, somebody with your background, with your MBA, with your design thinking credentials, somebody has managed innovation at little companies like we mentioned.
Yeah, with the actual board, which is the best asset that it has, the association.
So you have support. You have support.
No, but they are great by themselves. They have already been growing during this pandemic.
Right.
So I'm just the next step.
Right.
So
you find momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just keeping the momentum.
Keeping the momentum, which is great. But my question was going to be, even knowing all that and knowing indeed of the great work that the board has been doing, and the fact that you find continuation, you find continuity in that, I think, fine. It sounds doable. It sounds very achievable. Your numbers check as far as I'm concerned. But how are you actually going to do that? Do you have a plan? Do you have an access or 2 particular things or 3 that you want to focus on?
I mean, we have 2 access to work. The first one are the suppliers.
Right.
I mean, we have a lot of suppliers in COBRECA, in the cooperative.
Right.
COBRECA. So, COBRECA. So we are going to use these suppliers, because suppliers, you know, when they bring you one new associate, they have to reduce the fees, because as an associate of COBRECA, we have special prices.
Right.
So if some of these suppliers is bringing us one client, it has to reduce the prices of the suppliers.
Offer some value.
Actually, in the first moment, he or she is losing money.
The business is.
So what we are working is, if you bring me one new associate, I give you 3 more. Why? Because we have a lot of suppliers that are working. Each supplier is bringing 3. So when you bring 3, you take out 20.
Everybody wins.
Yes, I mean, everybody wins. So the first direction to work are suppliers, and I think we have achieved an agreement with them. So the best supplier on the month of the month, we are going to give more marketing, more. We are going to show awards. We are going to
visibility,
promote visibility. Yes, promote the supplier.
Right.
So the first thing are suppliers, and I think they are with us.
Right.
The second one are the actual associates. If one of the actual associates bring us a new associate, both of them are going to win.
The Abreca members themselves.
Yes, the new Abreca member is going to have 3 months of free quote of the association.
Try before you buy, basically.
That's
right?
it. It's basically, I mean,
Right.
if you're not happy with what you have, you don't have to pay for it.
That's a big bet.
Well, actually,
I mean, it's doable, but it's a
yeah. And actually, the old associate that brings a new one
Right.
is going to get a free photography package to have pictures of the bar, of the pub,
Right.
or of the food. And what we want is to increase how Benidorm is seen all around the world. I mean, we
Right.
need to have
Better
good
image.
pictures about food, good pictures about locals. So we are going to make the difference between the locals that are inside the association and the ones that are outside.
Right.
So we need to look amazing in order to bring amazing or to bring better clients.
Right. Which sounds like a tremendous plan. It sounds like a very coherent whole that you're
Yeah,
putting
we
together.
have a plan, which is the first step.
Right. You have to have a plan and follow through with it, which is great.
Yeah, actually, there is the first question at all is when I start here,
Right.
I ask why we don't have that few members of the British corner that they told here in Benidorm, British zone. And I have been asking people of that zone why they are not in Abreca, and they have told me because no one speaks English there.
Right.
So, okay,
Is
let's
that
do
right?
this podcast in English.
Right.
Let's show that we speak English.
Sure.
We do speak English.
Right. Right.
And also they are one of the associates that needs most because they need engineers, they need lawyers that speak Spanish and know Spanish regulation. We are here for you.
Right.
So you should be the first
Of course.
to enter Abreca.
Right, to join, and in fact, Diego, you and those that follow us will have known that we've spoken with several members of the British and a foreign, so to speak, community here, and they tell us it's always more or less the same story. Had I known that Abreca existed when I did all of this on my own in a foreign language with no knowledge whatsoever, had I known you guys, you people existed, I would have joined you with my eyes closed. We hear that a lot. So it's great to know that that's the direction you're heading. I think we will have to do another episode just to focus on what you're looking forward in all this work that you're looking forward to doing and bringing Abreca forward in the following up of that momentum. I think Ale is giving us a signal from the production department that time is always pushing us a bit, but it's been my pleasure. Diego Salinas, manager of Abreca, de la Asociación de Bares, Restaurantes y Cafeterías de Benidorm, and it's also been great to be able to touch upon a bit of your background. And if there's anything else you'd like to add that
It's not only my pleasure to thank you both for your work, it's only my duty
you have no
as
other
a manager
Right.
to say good job for you,
Thank you.
and thank you for your job.
We are honored to be able to bring people together with the podcast. I think we're reaching out to the community and helping people get to know each other, and I really appreciate that. But we will take you up on your word and talk some more about your plans for Abreca, COBRECA, and the whole community here in Benidorm. And it's been great. It's been great having you. My name is Humberto H.J. Normie. It's been great to also have Ale Ronzani at the controls there, and it all remains to thank you all for following us, and we hope to find you there the next time around. My name is Humberto H.J. Normie, and hope to see you the next time. Thanks for being there.